Hello, everyone. My name is Saurabh Sanghvi, and we will be kicking off the second half of our series today with our first competitive advantage talk. We're lucky to have Bill Chapin from the Kansas City Chiefs today, talking about the Chiefs Kingdom Pass. Bill?
Thanks, Rob. Thanks a lot. Good afternoon, everyone. How are we all doing today? Great. Quick show of hands. I'm going to try to be as informative and yet brief to get through this as quickly as possible. How many students in the room? Great, so I can speak to that audience. And how many third-party vendors, so forth, in the room? Great. Okay, so I can customize the presentation. So I'm going to try to be as transparent. I know that's an overly used word in our business with this. And talk to you a little bit about the history of what has happened and what we've done and why we're doing what we're doing and go forward. And then leave enough time at the end to talk Q&A and next steps as we get into this. So Chiefs Kingdom Pass was an idea and a formation of understanding our customers and marketing to a segment of one. And as you know, as you unveil the onion and peel back all the layers, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And so what we did was take an assessment position over a phased approach, year 1, year 2, and year 3, start to peel back the onion and learn from those opportunities so that we could grow a deeper understanding of our fan base. First and foremost, I know that analysis paralysis exists. We felt it. But at one point, we just said, we've got to go. There's a certain foundation that we got to go with, and we made mistakes. So I'm going to caveat all this by saying, I'm going to say during the presentation where a mistake was made, what we did to fix it, and how do we move forward gaining confidence with ownership, gaining confidence with our fans, gaining confidence within the process of how to continue to do that. So I think I've got the clicker. I do. Here are our key challenges. One, we had very limited consumer data. So I arrived in 2011, at the end of 2011, and we didn't have a strategic plan surrounding our data. I'll just leave it at that. There was no plan. Second, we had a declining season ticket and single game sales. So the main lifeblood of the organization, Lamar Hunt is quoted as saying the season ticket holders and season ticket sales in general, the lifeblood of the organization, that was declining. So the major asset within the firm was declining. We were also competing with this incredible at-home experience that I think we all have spoken to over the last 24, 36, 48 months of what that looks like, and obviously we've got that to compete with. And quite frankly, we had been in some ways, shapes, and forms, and we could go through the whole broad spectrum. We were out of touch with the fans, and what I'm mostly referring to there is we didn't know their data. Go back to point number one. So if we didn't know who they were, we didn't know how to market to a segment of one, we were sending blast emails out, sending a XYZ offer to somebody who clearly was not interested in XYZ, that didn't make a lot of sense. So how do we look at those key challenges? Because we wanted to sustain this. And I think we all know what this means. This means not a full building. It means scarcity. It means fan avidity. It means high levels of fan avidity. It means fan engagement. It means all these different things at every different touch point that are critical success factors within our industry. So what were the desired outcomes of that? Well, we wanted to put a full deployment of CRM, DBM, loyalty, and a fan loyalty program together. But a byproduct of that was we also wanted to understand how do we start to capture all that data? We want to understand our fans. If we don't know them, we're not going to get to know them better. We're not going to have customer lifetime value, all the quantitative assessment values that we believe are important in the continual acculturation and fostering of this fan development strategy. And how do we market to a segment of one? And how do we increase our season ticket sales and fan retention over the lifetime of that? So I think clear challenges, clear outcomes, lots of stuff in between, phased approach. Clearly, an overused term again, but one that we felt that was really important. Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. I'm going to go back to Phase 1. We introduced a season ticket holder card. Not a new technology, been out for a long time, but it was the first, if you will, ripping off the Band-Aid of getting rid of the old ticket that had consumer information but really didn't have consumer information, as much consumer information was looking for, Getting rid of the mindset that a ticket was a token of appreciation, a token of significance, a token of I use my game use tickets and collector's items, to an idea of a season ticket holder card, plastic card, barcode, but have the ability to give us some more information in-game that we had before. Phase 2 was a CRM DBM loyalty for season ticket holders, which we ran and deployed last year. Lots of, again, elements there. And phase 3, which quite frankly we have not fully deployed because we haven't fully developed, is how do we take that loyalty to all fans? And that's a big leap. So if you go back, there's a first big leap psychologically of our season ticket holders going, I'm going from a ticket to a card. Second is I'm going to a loyalty program where there was no loyalty program before. And what does that mean for me, and how does that enhance my fan engagement? How does that enhance my season ticket holder membership? How does that enhance my season ticket holder status? But that's how we broke it down. And the reason why we broke it down there, obvious reasons, is chunk at a time, chunk at a time, chunk at a time. You're introducing a lot of that. Lots of different discussions there. One could be season ticket holder card. Do you make it mandatory or do you make it optional? I know a number of clubs are looking at that. We decided, again, to use the illustration, we decided that we wanted to rip off the Band-Aid. If you're going to do that and you want to capture that information data, that would be the best way to deploy that. Were there situations and circumstances where somebody drew a line in the stand and said, I am not going to renew my season ticket holder account if you don't give me tickets? Very few, but a handful. And so obviously we would accommodate that. But the intentionality of the program is, hey, you're going to be benefiting because you're going to get a new % discount at the team store. You're going to get $1 off on all these concession items that you've ranked as the top 10 concession items within the stadium. Obviously, you're going to be able to forward your tickets now electronically, which is a huge benefit because if you're not going to go to the game Saturday night because you have a family engagement and it just popped up, well, then you can forward and electronically email your tickets to your new best friend or your coworker, your neighbor, whoever that is. Great amenities that we would hope, and our fans have now embraced, which is much more beneficial than the fact of a memento of a paper ticket. Quite frankly, as we all know, and I'll just state the obvious, a season ticket holder card is a transitionary medium. It's established in market. You all have grocery cards that probably have a loyalty card or some type of airlines card but it's a transitionary medium that was already established in market versus the complete takeoff of going from tickets maybe right to the phone. We'll have that discussion as part of our phase 3 as we talk about integration and loyalty. So the purpose, emotionally enrich the relationship that transcends the wins and losses. Real important. As we all know, we don't control anything that happens after the ball is kicked, but we can control, in many ways, the outcomes of all of those other touch points with our fans and extend the value of being a season ticket holder. A way to completely engross the season ticket holder in their experience, and a way to communicate 365 days a year, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well. This is the Chiefs Kingdom Pass. I'm going to let a video kind of explain it. This is a video we sent to the season ticket holders when we launched the program that can kind of give you a quick minute and a half, 2-minute overview of what we've got. So I'm going to hope that that's it. How do I hit play? Can someone hit play in the back? If not, I can tell you about it, but just hit. I won't tell the technology guys what they already know. Nope. There you go. Nice work. And there's volume too. The play button's in the middle of the logo, in the middle of the page, right there, highlighted under the KC. Okay, try the play button down at the lower left that you just kind of worked around. We'll give it another 20 seconds, and if not, we'll move forward. All right, no, down the left corner. Yep. Nope. All right. If I get the names and emails of everybody in this room, I'll send it to you. See, that was planned data collection. All right, so what is Chiefs Kingdom Pass here? It is a culmination of 4 things. It's season ticket holder information and communication. Think of it as a microsite. It's ticket management, which really, at the end of the day, is the bedrock of this, and that is the managing of your tickets. And that's bringing it to the forefront with the Ticketmaster technology of in this case, My Chiefs account. It was bringing that into this microsite as well. So an open API between our Chiefs Kingdom Pass and Ticketmaster and My Chiefs account, which is the Ticketmaster product. Exclusive content and a loyalty program. So those were the 4 main elements that were surrounding this program. Again, the bedrock being, we know that people are going to need to go onto the account to manage their tickets, and these are other benefits associated with that. So season ticket holder information, obviously all kinds of general information, transfers, upgrades, seating ticket policies, bag policy as it relates to the NFL, anything critical that involves the NFL game experience or the Arrowhead game day experience. Or in this case, this is our season ticket holder party that we have inside, draft party inside of our indoor practice facility. Key messaging, I said, kickoff changes, anything that would have a game time kickoff game time change. Example, 2 weeks out, if we get moved from a 1 o'clock game to a 3 o'clock or a nationally televised game for Sunday Night Football, this would be the place, the portal, if you will, we would communicate all of that information. Specific events, draft day party, training camp, ever. You get the drill. And renewal. So this was key, and this was new to this year, and it was a new element that we really, I think, is a game changer. Obviously, the ticket eliminated paper, in essence. In reality, in some cases it didn't, because obviously if you're going to forward a ticket to somebody, this is Ticket 101, you all know this, somebody's going to have to print that ticket out on a piece of paper. But it was ticketless technology as it relates to the barcode. But the renewal now was also, everything was online. So no more paper invoicing, no more waiting and timing about, hey, we're at this particular standings level, it's mid-November, should we run the invoices or run not? Now we can just load everything up at the appropriate time for the consumer. And the thought process there and the communication there was, let's be strategic about when we roll that out to the consumer. Really don't want to be in a position where you roll out an invoice and then 3 weeks go by because of all the matuations that you have to go through, and your team's lost 3 straight games and now they're out of the playoffs, and yet the consumer has gotten the playoff invoice, and then they all go, oh, they don't get it. And every 31 other clubs of the NFL and all the 30 clubs in Major League Baseball and all the other leagues want to get out of that same business as well. So it was really critical to put everything on the renewal for season ticket holders on Chiefs Kingdom Pass, which we were really, really, really pleased with. Again, Ticketmaster and the ticket management, manage my tickets, single sign-on integration with Ticketmaster. There's my Chiefs account. This is how you do it. This is how you assign it. You know, all the basics there. We saw a significant increase in usage the month after single sign-on was implemented. That was a critical factor. So those who are thinking about doing this, teams related, those who are students who are thinking about that open the API and that type of connectivity together is really important while you're putting all this microsite stuff together, because that, as you can see, was a critical point in the adoption of what our season ticket holders are looking to do. And we estimate that 25% are going straight to My Chiefs account. So there's a good news, bad news scenario there is they still need to be educated to go to My Chiefs account so they can get all the information, not just the ticket information, but shows and validates that that's an important foundational element. Exclusive content. We really felt going in, and this is where I'd say if I had to do it over again, we did a survey and found out that exclusive content was lower on the list compared to the other things. We came into ownership and management saying that was a very important factor. Now, if you're deciding to think about doing this, I think it's still a very important element to discuss. If you have a production team, how that's going to work, but then the opportunity/challenge is how is that going to integrate with your current content on your team website? And we're in the midst of going through those challenging discussions right now because it should be able to augment and not take away. In this case, we found out that while there was some really good content, not everybody was looking at it. And so why should that content get the benefit of going on to a very limited use, our season ticket holder accounts only, and not the wide spectrum of the wide audience of KCChiefs.com. Important to the portal, but don't want to compete. And content we thought was compelling didn't garner as much as high views. And that was an area. So we put a really insider video of our number one draft pick. It went on the portal. It was viewed by a very small audience. We put it up 2 hours later, up on KC Chiefs. It was the number one most watched video by X percentage. And it was really interesting to see the tale of, if you will, of two cities there. All right, loyalty program. We've all struggled. We've all talked. We've all done a little bit of research. We've done a lot of research to do a loyalty program, to not to do a loyalty program. We decided to engage. But again, look at the strategy. The strategy is surrounding season ticket holders, and those being the lifeblood of the organization. We can secure the type of reward they want. So I specifically put this slide here because those people that are around that, they used loyalty points to get the opportunity to hold the Arrowhead flag, or Arrowhead symbol in this particular medium. There are things that clubs have that don't kill them financially to be able to have an on-field, clearly, an on-field experience in their part of the fan engagement that season ticket holders are like. We were thinking along those lines. Provides opportunity to recognize season ticket holders on different levels based on spends and activities. So we worked with Ski Data to integrate the fan loyalty program into the portal with the API, open with Ticketmaster into Chiefs Kingdom Pass. So you can tell the layers that we're trying to work through. And there were some complications in that because that requires a rhythmic timing, it requires a sequential order to it, and also requires the thought process of we're starting at A and we're going to D. That has to be clearly announced. That has to be clearly stated. That has to be on a flow chart so that everybody knows where we're going. And identify creative opportunities to reward season ticket holders. We've done that in a myriad of different ways. I won't bore you with that. But we felt that the loyalty program would build over time. And we've obviously put some resources behind that. What are the challenges? How to increase the engagement? What are the opportunities to liquidate points? How are the airlines doing it? How do we need to do that compared to the airlines? Is that going to be comparison set for us? And how do you keep the costs down? Some of the challenges that we then went back from strategically to look at on-field or other moments of engagement that are not financially going to drain this program. One of the ways we've done it, as I think many of you know, is the membership club. These are exclusive benefits for season ticket holder members that the league has rolled out, which we're very appreciative of. Interesting adoption numbers right here at the beginning. I think very intro, new. We need to do a better job of communicating what these benefits are. But I will tell you in the feedback, in the end of season feedback we've done, we get very high engagement for those who are engaged. What we're also finding is that a lot of people have not known about it. So I think the key behind loyalty program is consistency, relevancy, and constant communication that these things are available. So Game Rewind, 5% of the base. Fantasy football, 5%. Red Zone, 7%. And just some anecdotal feedback as well, again, kind of justifying and illustrating. I think I just got one of the best emails from the Chiefs about being a season ticket holder. NFL Game Rewind, #Chiefs Kingdom. You guys get the drill here. There was some fans here that were really, really excited. So by the numbers, I think these are the parts that really want to kind of emphasize to you. 49% of the season holders are using the card at concession and merchandise stands. So clearly, two sides of the story. 50% are not using them, but 50% are using them. We need to continue to communicate that there's a benefit to using your card. Easy access, discounts at the merchandise stand, discounts at the concession stand. But if you were to compare that data, 49% adoption after a 2-year program, we're pretty pleased with that. We need to benchmark that, so that's an outstanding issue, comparative to other teams, but we don't have a lot of benchmark comparisons. I think Seattle Sounders would be one of them that we would benchmark against. There are obviously some soccer teams across the pond that we would want to do that as well. 82% of the season ticket holders have their card to enter the stadium. Well, that's obviously because of the linchpin of the fact that the card is representative of the foundational element that you control and manage your tickets. 4% of season ticket holders redeemed a reward. So clearly an opportunity for us to engage that, or an opportunity for us to look back in 12 to 24 months and say, is the loyalty program really for a subset of these people and not important to these season ticket holders? And what are those age demographics? Are there age demographics behind it? And what is driving a fan's behavior as it relates to loyalty versus non-loyalty. 54% of the season ticket holders have engaged in the loyalty program, but only 4% have redeemed a reward. So there's an interesting juxtaposition there. How do we get past that, or how do we understand that? Season ticket holders that have been on a loyalty item have renewed at 9% greater rate than those who haven't. Clearly, if they're more engaged in that, that seems to be an indicator that there's more engagement. If there's more engagement, it leads to a higher lifetime customer value. If there's a higher lifetime customer value, you affect your renewal rates. We need to extrapolate that data. Again, do I have the answer today that means if I engage them to get a reward, they're going to be X percentage more likely to hit a renewal rate? Don't know exactly, but that's an interesting trend for us to analyze. 81% of season ticket holders have managed their tickets online. Okay, got it. And 73% of them have visited Chiefs Kingdom Pass in the last 4 months. Okay, some more stuff to talk about. So key learnings, lots of internal agreement and communication and alignment. So again, I think if I had to do many things over again, I would probably have lined out a lot better vision plan instead of saying, hey, where are we at today? I would have showed, hey, here's where we're going to go month 1. Here's where we should be at month 6. Here's where we should be at month 12. And this is the long vision as we go to the 24 and 36 months. Hard to do that when you're trying to implement all that stuff. So that would have been a key strategic plank that we would have done probably a better job, and we're doing a really much better job at that now. Cross-functional team has to be in place if you're going to do this. And this is the opportunity for the students. I mean, this whole conference is surrounding the whole idea of analytics and analytics teams and people, but they're not isolated. There have to be cross-functional. I just left the last session in big data, and they were talking about 5 things. You need to know analytics, you need to be able to communicate, you need to be able to program, you need to be able to do 2 other things that they mentioned. You do need to do all that, and you need to work with a cross-functional team that's working with marketing, that's working with fan segmentation, that's working with the league, that's working with your sponsorship team, and working with your ticketing products. So really important that that is in place. Staffing levels. I think it's been communicated over this past weekend and in future past conferences. Sports teams are really, at the end of the day, a small business, and so this is a relatively new entity, and you have to staff appropriately. We're probably not as staffed as the way we should be, but we at least took the leap to get in. Now we're in some areas where we're really in a really good position, and other areas where we're somewhat weak. So we've got to get through that. So is that how much time I've got left? Great. That says 0, by the way. So I just will cut to this chase. Future opportunities, customer lifetime value, which I've mentioned, data warehousing, mining, really interesting area for third parties, especially concessionaires. Real-time concession data integration, which is something we have not got real-time. We have a delayed day. Obviously, sponsorship opportunities, which is the huge elephant in the room. How do we open this up to other databases and roll out to the non-season ticket holders? I am out of time. I will tell you this about the mobile app. We rolled it out this year. We have over 400 access points using a Cisco system in the building. The raves have been really good because people can do basic things. They can text, they can tweet, they can make phone calls, and they can share their fan avidity when they're at a game. They are checking fantasy numbers and stats, but the key first phase for us was just the basic connectivity. We spent some significant revenue to do that, and it has enhanced the game experience. One of the things we'll just show you, I know I'm out of time, is obviously you have to have ownership support, but the one thing I will tell you we partnered with Yinscam that worked really well was the signature thing. If you look at those 2 shots, those are live camera feeds that we integrated into our production staff. So if you look over, that's Red Zone. So you had Red Zone live during the game. You had a TV cart view, a top 50 view. You had an East End Zone, West End Zone. You had an instant replay, which was under the hood. All of those were available for every play in the game, in stadium only. And it is a game changer that we'll continue to promote. So I'm out of time. I'd love to take some Q&A. I appreciate your attention and happy to help in any way that I can.
Questions for Bill? Go ahead. It's a good question. A lot of people have said that we're at the forefront. I feel like we're behind.
And I think behind because we know what Amazon has done. We know what Delta has done. Delta just made some major announcements this week. If we're viewed as a major corporation, the league and the teams as a major corporation, then we're behind. Doesn't mean we have to race, but we do need to catch up. And I feel like these are very appropriate steps as we move forward because our fans are that important and they're the lifeblood of the organization. So I think if you're in a comparative set of the NFL, NHL, and I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to not lead the charge, but lead by a good example, but be good stewards of that at the same time. I want to help other teams go through this process. I want to help Russell at the Jets, or I want to help Ryan at the Padres, because it's good for all of our businesses, because at the same time, they're going to come back and help me somewhere down the line about some new technology that they're going to find or develop that's going to be good for their fans. And that's the great side of our business side, that we're not competing against each other necessarily.
You're meant to get to this, but are you planning to integrate the loyalty platform ticketing into your mobile device and the actual app that you guys have developed?
So it's there. It's not fantastic. And that was more of a phase 2 of the app. The phase 1 was, hey, can we make a text? Can we make a call? And can we get live video on the app? So yes, the plan is to go there. The question is, how important is that based on the feedback we're getting from our season ticket holders?
Yeah. And did you do the development in-house? Did you have a vendor, or is there a number of vendors collaborating to try to do this for you guys?
Not the resources in-house. Most of the resources we have in-house that are programming are doing programming for football-related, statistics that you can hear about all this weekend. We did go to Green Beacon. We did go to Ski Data. I'm happy and pleased with both of them. I'm not just advocating them. I'm just telling you, functionally what we did. Green Beacon, Ticketmaster, Ski Data, and this was Yin's Cam. So yes, we segmented those so that they would all come together, and the intentionality was it for all to come together. Yeah.
Good. Last question.
Did you feel that you needed to do this because of the fact that the Hunt family is kind of considered to be an innovative family as well as pioneers in the whole AFL-NFL merger?
Great question. I didn't feel like we needed to do it. I think we felt it was the right thing for our season ticket holders and for our fans. It is also no secret that the Hunt family are pioneers, and that pioneers in the technology, pioneers with the architecture, the way that Arrowhead is built. Clark sits on the digital committee for the NFL. He's the chairman of the international committee. Certainly that was in alignment with our business objectives of making sure our fan are at the, if you will, at the focal point of our wheel.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.